Welcome. Today we are reviewing and discussing the Lionsteel Nyala. Lionsteel is a company in Italy, and they are known for making knives. However, they did make this unique and cool pen. So when you get it, it's going to come in a box like this. Decent presentation. When you open it up, you're going to get handy dandy little thing we'll take a look at there. And then here's your pen in a nice wooden box here. Now, one cool thing that they did was this box doubles as a pen holder. So if you want, you can keep this on your desk, and they designed this part to hold your business cards. So you could actually kind of keep this on your desk with some business cards if you'd like, and kind of a nice little package. It does work pretty well. It doesn't really scrape up anything, so it was a very nice little bonus. And I actually did use this on my desk before I got heavily into pens and got other pen holders. This actually was my little pen holder for my first two pens I had. So when we look at the pen itself is a titanium body with an insert. The insert is either carbon fiber like this case here, or it is Damascus steel, Dama steel too, which is very nice. Let's look at the little insert they have here. So it talks about your warranty, tells you how to use the pen, talks about the refill, the Fisher Space Pen refill, and it talks about the design of the pen. The name of it is the Nyala, and that is because it's based on a South African antelope which has special spiral horns. Now that spiral you can see kind of through the windows of the insert, and you can see it more clear when you actually take the whole cap off. And then you can remove that insert too. So you can really see the milling there. Every now and again I do go ahead and take this off, run a Q-tip over that to keep it nice and clean. So you can get these in several different variants, anodized different colors. This one was titanium that was anodized bronze with that kind of nice goldish bronze hue. Here's the clip. It looks pretty standard, but when you actually view it from the side, you can actually see it's rounded all the way about chamfered, you might say. So that's very smooth. It goes in and out of the pocket with no problem, as you can see, because it just kind of hovers above the body there. So no problems going in and out of pants, even though it's not really springy per se, but because of that gap, it slides in and out. No problems with hold on the pants. Let's look at some of the features on the body itself. We've got these little divots here that are ascending in size and depth, and these help give a nice tactile feel. And we see that over here and then up front as well. You also see the brand itself, Lionsteel, engraved there. And then one of the coolest things that I couldn't even find pictures of online is this engraving on the end here. It looks like a kind of a little hydra or octopus type thing going on, and it looks like it's got a name there that I assume was the designer. But that is a very cool little touch there. And then you see on the cap some divots kind of matching the aesthetic going there and there. Now let's talk about the mech. This is a unique in-house mech. It's a twist mech. You actually twist the back here, and that is what propels your cartridge forward. It's nice and light. It can be done with one finger or a thumb, which is nice. And it does have some ascending kind of feedback as you're pushing against what feels like some sort of spring. And then it settles into a nice kind of firm grasp when the unit is activated. Very unique, very cool mech. And I love that engraving there too. Let's see how much of a twist it takes. So this is angled down the face. When it is activated, it is almost 180 degrees up, a little bit less. So it might be 150, 160 degrees of a rotation there will activate or deactivate this unit. Now going under the hood to talk about the replacement cartridge. We've got our spring, our cap. Now these take Fisher Space Refills, also known as the Space Pen. And this is a pressurized cartridge that's very well known, and it can write everywhere, underwater, upside down, you name it. So the cartridge is one that can definitely work well anywhere. That said, it's not the smoothest flowing cartridge compared to some others, so the actual feel of extended writing is not going to be as great as maybe, you know, the G2s or the Montverde ceramic gel balls. So this insert will rotate until you tighten the cap. And if you over tighten the cap, what you get is grittiness and resistance here in the mechanism. So if you notice your mechanism is kind of hard or gritty to turn, make sure that your cap is not overly tightened. Your cap should be tight enough that there's no play or wiggle room in the insert. It doesn't move. However, it shouldn't be as tight enough to cause any grit or troubles with the smoothness in the mech. So as far as reliability goes, I carried this exact pen on me for about a year until I moved to some other different machine pens. So this is a very reliable, very consistent pen. I have had no issues whatsoever with it over extended use. We can see the balance is right around the midway point there, so that's nice. This pen is very small because it uses that Fisher Space Pen refill. So let's take a look at how we sit compared to some other pens. So here we have the Lionsteel versus a Soul, because everybody's got to love a Soul. And the Soul is one size, so it gives you a nice, accurate representation of how big the next pen will be. Let's look at it next to a Q3D bolt action. This is the G2, the longer tip. Let's go ahead and look at some smaller competitors. Here we have the USG/SPP TI Scribe Go. And let's go ahead and activate it. And that will help. So you see when activated, the Lionsteel is right about the same length as the TI Scribe Go. Let's look at another smaller pen. Here is a tactile turn. This is the mini, or the shortest one they make. We'll activate that too. And you can see the Lionsteel comes in a little bit wider and just a hair longer than the shortest tactile turn. So this pen definitely sits in that shorter category. So let's go ahead and take a look at the pros and the cons of the Lionsteel Nyala. So the pro is definitely the looks. We've got nice milling. We've got a nice insert, whether it's carbon fiber or Dama steel. Another pro would be the mech. It is unique and it is very cool, especially when you just kind of, it's very pragmatic. It's a great mech. You don't have to come up. It doesn't take a lot of effort. You can just kind of, one-handed, once you push it out of engagement, it just snaps back. So it's a really nice mech. Another pro is the size is small. All right, so the cons, the refill, the Space Pen. The Space Pen refill is very attractive to people coming from the EDC world. And let's consider this was made by a knife maker, so it's attracting that EDC audience. Space Pen's great, the Fisher refill, because it's pressurized. It can write upside down, underwater, you name it. But once you really go down the rabbit hole of different machine pen refills, this refill isn't notable for any smoothness or colors or anything like that. So a lot of people get into pens and look for this refill, but once they're into pens, they might not look for pens with this refill. And I think that's one of the reasons that this pen, it doesn't really have a good notoriety in the machine pen world. It's out there, it's been there for a while, but it hasn't made a big splash. That in conjunction with stagnation. And that's less a fault of the pen as much as the company, because since this has come out, the company hasn't done anything with it. There's no new colors, there's no new inserts, there's no new milling patterns. It just is what it is. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, too bad, move on. So between the limited refill options and just the company stagnation, I think that's why this pen just kind of is what it is, and it hasn't made a bigger splash in the machined world. Conclusions on the Lionsteel Nyala. This is a solid pen, absolutely. The mech is definitely a superstar. I love all the little embellishments and engravings, kind of like you can see the engraving on the mech itself there. And, all around, the little divots are really nice. The actual milling representing that Nyala horn with a spiral twist under there is very cool. The fact that they've got Damascus Dama steel or carbon fiber inserts is really cool. There's a lot to love about this pen, especially coming in at that kind of typical less than 200 price point for a lot of machine pens. There's a lot going on here. The cons, though, you're limited in refill options. You can really only use that Fisher Space Pen, and that will turn a lot of users off right from the get-go. So would I recommend this pen? If you like the Fisher Space Refill, absolutely. If you're just getting into the hobby from the EDC side of the world, this pen checks all of your boxes. I appreciate the tiny size, and this mech is a superstar. Just this mech can go all day, and it's very fidget-friendly, quiet when you want it to be. So the mech is the definite superstar of this pen, and the looks are, I think, pretty spectacular. This definitely draws eyes. So there you have it. If you are in the market for a pen like this, definitely check out the Lionsteel Nyala.